Who knows what's happening tomorrow?
What's happening tomorrow?
Who knows why tomorrow is a special, powerful day?
Is it Christmas?
Friendsmas. Pluto.
December 15, 2014. What's the significance of that? Any astrologers in the audience? Okay.
Your vision has to be correct.
All right. Okay, tomorrow, Pluto and Uranus are going to be precisely 90 degrees to each other. Now, why is that important? Now, I promised that I would take you guys back to the 1960s tonight. In the 1960s, Pluto and Uranus sat in the same place in the sky for the first time ever when we were conscious and when we knew of the existence of those two planets. That was the first time since they were discovered that they were sitting in the same place in the sky. Pluto is about our souls, our source, our grounding, our transformation, deepest place. And Uranus is about our desire to break free of all restriction and to get out there into the celestial realms and to be totally independent, to be free of the earth plane, to be free of when everything holds us back. So when those two came together, boom, we had the 1960s. Okay. That's what happened. And now they've come to what astrologers call the first quarter square, where they're not challenging each other, sort of cross purposes. And then you get the same themes that come back and say, okay, let's bring all those themes up again. Themes of civil rights, anti-war themes, themes of care and concern for our planet, racial issues, sexual issues, all that kind of thing gets all up again. All right. And this is the second to the last time. The squares have been going on in a series starting in 2012, and they're going to end in March. This is the second to the last square. And it's like saying the whole 2012 experience, the whole moving into the new age is up right now, peaking. And whatever changes we need to make in our personal lives and in our social lives, they're going to move into a whole new space in 2015. It's time to get on with it. We've been digging and digging and digging. And you know that from your own personal experience, that you've been digging and digging and digging deeper into yourself. And it's going to be time for that to burst out. Well, but I'm going to go back to the 1960s a little bit, and I'm going to talk about what a strange period that was. You probably think you're living in a strange era, and revolutionary era too, but I'll talk about the one I knew when I was coming in. So for one thing, at one point I had a girlfriend in Europe, and to communicate, we were poor students, we didn't have any telephones, so we had to do this quaint thing called letters. And I didn't write very well, so I used my high-tech Smith Corona and get on there and then, put a letter together, all my thoughts, what was happening in my life, and the next day I'd walk down to the post office and I'd post it. And it would take about a week for it to go to Europe, and then she'd get it, and then she'd have to think about it for a while, and then she'd write down all of her thoughts. And about 3 weeks later I'd get a response, right? And that's how we communicated. Probably one of the reasons we're not together at this point. Okay, so some things change, and some of them are pretty better. Well, let's go back to 1962. 1962 was the height of the Cold War. That was the Cuban Missile Crisis. Now, if you don't know what this was about, it was about whether we had enough bombs to eliminate them at least twice as many times as they could eliminate us. We had a missile gap, so everybody in the American military was saying, and the American political establishment, we got to get more missiles aimed at them because they can eliminate us twice for every time we eliminate them. And that's not American. That's not good for us. We got to eliminate them more than they can eliminate us. So we put some missiles in new places like Turkey, and they're right next to the Soviet Union. And okay, now we're starting to make up the missile gap. And then boom, they come back, and what do? They start putting missiles. Russia starts putting missiles in Cuba. Well, we can't have that. You know, now they can eliminate us 16 times, or every time, 8 times we eliminate them. And you know, if you were a kid at that time, some of you may have been, you may have been in kindergarten or 3rd grade or something like that. You know, about that time you were going through drills where a bell would ring, and you would get out of your seat at your desk and crawl under your desk and pull a book over you, put your hands over your head, and that would protect you from nuclear fallout. Right? Okay. Or maybe you'd even go down in a basement somewhere where there was lots of cans of Spam that were put aside, and you could spend the next 7 years waiting for strontium-90 to lower down enough so that you could actually come out and breathe the air again. And there wouldn't be anything growing anymore, but if you had a lot of Spam, maybe you could live for a few more years. So that's, I mean, if you ever watch Dr. Strangelove, please, you know a little bit of what it's. Okay, so then there are other strange things. Like I went for a walk one day, and let's say it was the day of the Puerto Rican Day Parade. This was about 1960, probably 67, 66 or 67. And I went with some of my Puerto Rican and some of my Mexican friends, and we're walking down the street. We're going to go to the parade, and this police car pulls up next to us, and sergeant gets out and walks up to us very politely, and he said, well, would you guys be willing to come down and talk to the captain about community relations? Because I was part of a group called the Latin American Defense Organization at that time. And so, well, yeah, when does he want us to come? Well, he's there now if you want to come. Okay. So 3 of us get in the car. We drive down to the station, and we walk in, and I say, well, it's kind of strange that we're walking down instead of up. I would think the captain would have his offices up rather than down. And I hear this clank, and seeing gates closing behind us, and pretty soon we're in a cell. And then a couple of days later, we're in court, and my lawyer is telling me, yeah, you have 2 choices. Now, you can shut up and plead what's called nolo contendere against charges of incitement to riot and resisting arrest, and there was a couple other things. Or you can get up and testify and tell the truth about what happened, in which case you'll be in jail for at least 3 years and you'll get a felony. So I shut up. And it's kind of a strange world we're living in, but that's what the 1960s were like. There was a lot of that, and you still see a lot of that around now. It's coming up again, and some of the things that are going on politically are bringing that all out again. But we lived in those strange times, and so I'm going to share a little Bobby Dylan. I hope I am. I get through this about every 3rd time I do this. Actually, I'm going to bring one out here just in case I forget all my lines.
Nice.
So this is about how strange the 1960s were and what you might be experiencing back then. Well, Johnny's in the basement mixing up the medicine. I'm on the pavement thinking about the government. Man in the trench coat, badge out, hat off, says he's got a bad cough, wants to get it paid off.
Woo! Yeah.
Well, look out, kid, it's something you did. God knows when, but you're doing it again. You better duck down the alleyway looking for hacksaw talking in the heat, puts the plant in the bed, but the phone's tapped anyway. Maggie said the many say they must bust in early May, orders from the DA. Well, look out, kid. Don't matter what you did. Keep on your tiptoes, don't try no doors. Better stay away from those that carry around a fire hose. Keep a clean nose, watch the flame goes. You don't need a weatherman to know which way the wind blows. I'll get sick, get well, hang around the inkwell, ring bell, hard to tell if anything is gonna set. Try hard, get back, get real, bright braille, jump, I did something wrong. If you fail. Well, look out, kid. You're gonna get hit. But losers, cheaters, six-time users hang around the theaters, go by the whirlpools looking for a new fool. Don't follow leaders, watch your parking meters. We don't want that in Chicago, don't we? Kid born, keep warm, short pants, romance, learn to dance, get dressed,